where we left off, where we see this internal to external range move happen. Okay, we're coming. Obviously, this was the day it occurred. We closed on the Friday. We made note of that in our journal here. And we're starting to look for our next move. What I'm going to do is I'm going to backtest all of EG up until today's date, which is October 14th, 2025, on EG, and then I'm going to pick a new pair and go back to this exact same date and start again. And then what I can do is just filter it out and go like that, because as I said, I do trade all the pairs. So yeah, so continuing where we left off, I'm going to also say that I've added days as well now, so I can go in later and edit that. So like this is a Thursday. I can quickly just do it now, to be honest. This is a Monday. Obviously, they ain't all going to have it because I didn't note it down on some of them, which is a bit annoying. And this is a Tuesday, but from going forward, we're going to have the day as well. And the reason for that is just so that when I look at the data later, I can actually see exactly what pair does what on what days and sort of gauge from there. Also, I'm starting to think that as we go forward, I might be able to find something better here in terms of tracking the RR, because obviously that's at 12%. This is at 6 because this is what you would get if you was 2R. Yeah, so yeah, I want to compare that, which is fine. I just don't want to add all random numbers into this RR chart. Anyways, what I'm going to do is carry on looking for daily internal to external on EG now. So I have this level here, which would be the next one I'll look at. Price is tagged into that now on a Thursday again. It always seems to do it on a Thursday. And as I said before, I don't know what comes next because I haven't seen any of this. So yeah, we're just sort of going as you would if you was actually backtesting it on your own. I'm just literally recording it for myself for future reference. So obviously that's Thursday close. We have this low put in, so let's skip into London. Wow, right, okay, so we bounced out anyways. So what I'm going to be looking for is just a sweep in the opposite direction of where I want to go. So London, I want to see this Asia low tagged, to be honest, and that's the only way I would actually look. Oh, actually, in fact, we haven't taken out liquidity though, but this internal range, I probably would have had to look to trade. We'll see how that would have played out. Okay, so this level, I see that I wouldn't have. I mean, my normal trading style, I would have taken this. I would have waited and it made the move down back into internal range. The only thing it didn't have was a liquidity sweep. So I probably, bearing in mind that I'm trying to only trade with what I've mentioned before, which I'm actually going to put in here as well in a big note to the side. Let's have a note here. No, where can we put a note? Whoa. Go back. No, not like that either. That's not nice. I wanted to actually put it in. Oh, let's just get it written down here anyways. So we're going from daily chart only. We're looking for internal, okay? So we're going to label this as, do you know what? In fact, I ain't even going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up here because I do have a trading notes thing here. What I can do is edit this stuff. So we have this on the top right. Trading rules can stay the same. Let's put that in black. Let's put the title smaller. Don't need that massive line color. Stay. Just go with a nice little purple one because it just looks nice. The text needs to be in black. It needs to be like that. It also needs to be small. Text alignment can be to the left. And yeah, so we can now take this out. And what we can do is we can label this internal range to external range. Now, like I said before, I've always traded internal to external range, so this is nothing new. It's just more what I'm doing different. So daily, and this is what we're going for. So daily internal. We're always going to look for daily internal range. Once we tag internal range, we're going to go down to a 1 hour, and we're going to look for a liquidity sweep. We're looking for a liquidity sweep in the opposing direction, which means, so what I'm going to do here as well is session dash previous day. So that's what we're looking at. So we look for a sweep of the session or the previous session, or the previous day's levels. Okay. And then from there, we are going to go we're going to look for a 1 hour engulfing candle / close in our direction. And what I mean by that is we sweep the lows and close above. Like if we're going bullish, we sweep the lows, close above the previous 1 hour low, instigating that we're going to go higher. I'm going to look for that as well, and I'm also going to note these down. No lower time frame is what we're going with here. Okay. So what I can do is, because I don't like the gap like that up there, I'd rather do it like this. I just feel like it looks nice, broken up like that. So that looks lovely. So that's it. That's all we're going for. There's literally nothing else to it. It's that simple. And that is literally why I'm going to follow these exact rules. In fact, I'm even going to save that as default. Yep, boom. And that's it. So that's it now. I'm just going to trade like that. I'm looking for daily levels, internal to external, and then go from there. So obviously on this daily, which I need to start remembering to do, is actually put the external level up straight away. So then we got the high of 86979, 86979, boom. And that's our external range level. That's our overall external range. Okay, so we've respected this daily. We can still trade inside this going bullish. Okay, and this is something that you need to remember. You can still trade continuations because why wouldn't you? You've still got the overall draw. So Asia's come in. We're going into London. We take Asia low. Okay, so with it being a Monday, of course, I'm expecting probably price to make a low of the week. And I wouldn't be in a rush to trade this unless I see some sort of 1 hour confirmation. Okay. Confirmation would be that engulfing candle or close in our direction. Obviously, if we have a 1 hour level as well, so like a fair value gap like you have here, we could come into and bounce off, then that's just as good. It's even better. Okay, price reacts here. And this is why I'm saying you need something here, because just that close there is not enough. So now that we've taken this significant low and we're inside a fair value gap, I'm going to look exactly. So this is what I was going to say is you could have taken this trade here at the 7 o'clock open, and I'm going to say I would have taken this, put the low there, because we're inside of a fair value gap also. The target overall is absolutely massive, and what I need to start doing is having a look. It's actually only 48 pips, but yeah, it's only Monday and we're just going into the session, so we could potentially come down. But we're going to journal this one anyway. So we've got Monday the 21st of July. So July 21st, and it's a Monday. We're going daily. We're in New York. We're going long. And let's see what happens. Right, price has started to play out really nicely. At this point, we've took out significant, this high just above London inside the opposing fair value gap. This one here, these relative equal highs, you're floating so much profit, it's actually ridiculous. So that's unbelievable. The 2R got hit in the first hour, in fact, so you literally would hit that straight away. And yeah, that's unbelievable. I'm literally shocked how unbelievable this strategy actually works. It's actually crazy, to be honest. I threw myself completely off it. So right now you're literally floating at nearly 6R, so you could pull partials or whatever you wanted to do. Stops were just below that low there. Obviously, price makes a rally up to the upside. And yeah, I'm just going to keep running it up. Obviously, you'd be at break even at this point as well. You've hit 2, 3, 4, 5R. You're literally running it up into the next day. And obviously, like I said, we are literally just targeting that external range. Right, so price come all the way back down there. Would have took you out, obviously. You'd have been break even. So what I need to do now is we didn't actually take out the external range, which is a bit of a madness because we've come up 40 pips. It had 4 more pips to go, and it didn't do it, which is a little bit of a moment. But the 100% along this levels, you would have definitely closed out. You're talking about 12%. You've just passed the whole phase one of this one trade, and that was from a Monday to a Tuesday. So, like, realistically, it's actually crazy, this strategy. So yeah, let's pull out some levels here because we need to get these drawn on. We need to know what's going on here. So 1 to 2R was relatively fast. Literally would have been within the same hour. Liquidity target 2RR. I need to save these templates. That was one of the things I wanted to do. Save that like that. Okay, and we got that high there, which would have been, what was that? 4.74 RR. Okay, and then your overall highs would have been probably these two. So you'd have probably got a 5.77 maximum. I probably would have closed that. What I'm going to do going forward as well is I'm actually going to close them, and then I'll note how much I would have made if I let it run and stuff like that, because I need to try and make it a little bit more realistic. What's that, 5.77? Yeah, so that's unbelievable. You'd have got that in the whole New York move, which is really, really unreal. Obviously, you're not just even calling levels. Like, it's actually ridiculous. If you pull this back to here, you can see exactly why we took the trade. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, it's not a guess. This is levels that they're there. They're there for you to see. We can just recap this trade. Look, so we can go over. We had this daily level on Thursday of the previous week. We can jump up here, and you can see this daily level on Thursday tags in to the daily fair value gap. Friday tags in again, as you can see on the 1 hour. So this is Thursdays. This is Fridays. Oh no, it's not Fridays. Okay, Friday didn't tag in. Why is it saying it did? This is the thing with these charts, man, that it can look so deceiving. But I'm pretty sure that low wick is on that. It is that Friday low. But anyways, we tag into the daily, and we've made the move. This is the 1 hour structure shift right here. This alone, if it wasn't out of session time, you could enter off, and you could have ran it all the way up towards the external range. Okay, you don't want to hold trades that long, obviously. So what we did was the weekend came, and you have this new week open. So what I looked for was the fact that price could come down. Price could come down and take this level, in which is exactly what it done. It swept liquidity. Okay, it's liquidity sweep. That's the wrong one. Liquidity sweep. Okay, and then price is just out of session when it does that. So you know, coming into New York, you're going to get some sort of volume. Does it really need to go any lower? No, because we've already tagged a daily. We have this fair value gap that's been respected once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times already. Even the new week opening gap didn't disrespect it. So we know it's a level that price can bounce from. We then have the candle, as I was saying, we're looking for is a candle to close back within the range, which it does, and then absolutely rockets to TP, which you can see we get 5.77. So I'm going to note this 5.77 down because realistically, I would have traded to that target. Going forward, though, as I'm doing it, I'm going to say I would close out here because that's more realistic. But I'm going to put this down as a 5.77 total RR trade. Obviously, we know it does go up higher, but realistically, I would have closed out here. We're coming up to New York lunch, and I would always close at 12 anyway. So we'll say a 5.77R full target hit, and I'm going to put that into the journal. So obviously, yes, we do get a 2R. Yes, we did win, and it went to 5.77. So we can note that down, and then on to the next trade, because this trade's done. We can actually clear all this back off because trying to just keep everything as clear as possible. And we know that the end of this day doesn't actually make it to the external range, which is up there. So price comes back down. I probably wouldn't have been inclined to trade here just because the fact that we were so close yesterday. With that being said, obviously that's the move. Come into the new day. That's the move we just showed on Friday. On Thursday even. No, that was the 21st. So. Right, yeah, so there's the move that we had, in fact. And obviously the level wasn't. I'm going to pull that back because I haven't actually done this correctly. So there's the move, and for some reason I've skipped way too far. So obviously, let me quickly whack back on, because the external range level should be taken. We've already gone from internal. So I'm going to just leave this on and see how this plays out on the 1 hour to see potential scalping. What's this, Monday as well? So we know we got the whole of the week to go. Coming in to London. Obviously, we want to see price take liquidity in the opposing direction. You could call that it there. I wouldn't. Yes, cool. We have the 1 hour fair value gap, but again, this level isn't really significant. It's not a previous session or previous day's level, so I'm not going to have that on. New York, see what I mean? Now New York has come down inside this, and I'd probably wait to see how this next hour plays out. There we go. So it's to both sides. I would then go long off of this next candle entry. The stop's going to be quite big if we go off the hour. So what we can do is drop into a lower time frame, because that's just not enough. I can drop to a lower time frame and see how that plays. Potentially putting it down here at this level, which is below a 15-minute fair value gap, which should be enough to support price as well, order block as well. Quickly check the 30-minute, make sure there's nothing there. So the 30, so I'm going to go with that, and we'll see how that plays. We'll also make a note of that, because the level should not be getting broken now. And we'll target just above the external range, because you need at least a 2R. Okay, so let's see how that plays. Right, so we got taken out on the Wednesday. So that would have been a minus 1%. So let's put that down. Tuesday, the 22nd July at 10 a.m. Tuesday, 22nd July. Time. Time was the other thing that I wanted to add. I knew there was something. Time. Yeah, I knew there was something in here that I wanted to add on. I do have time in my other trades. I don't know what happened there. 10 a.m. I need to go through and note that shit down. Monday's one. I don't even know what it was now. Where was it? Monday's trade was off of this, so it was a 7 a.m. candle. New York Times, because so don't get confused. So 7 a.m. New York, because we don't need to be getting confused with that. We got 10 a.m. New York. And then we'll go from there with time. Right, so we got 10 a.m., which is New York. We was going for longs. We lost -1. And we didn't hit. We did hit over 1R. We can note that down. So we did hit 1R, no external range taken, which is what happened. There was no level, significant level. The next one was that New York high, and it didn't get taken. So yeah, so we can drop that off there. And as you can see, it wouldn't have mattered if I'd put my stop at the low, it would have still get taken. So the idea was right. And again, we can just stay on this 1 hour because we're still bullish as far as we're concerned. This level, where is that daily level gone? I took it off, which is a bit stupid. I need to stop doing that. I need to let these trades all play out completely before I cut them away from going forward. It's fine. That's what backtesting is all about. It's about going over the data, seeing what works, what don't work, and then actually taking it into real live markets on your live accounts and you're trading and actually using it. So obviously you can see we're quite bearish at this point as well. So we got to see some sort of 1 hour market structure shift again. Well, not market structure shift, but some sort of structure shift. Now what happened here? So New York 11, I probably would leave this anyways just because it's late. And that's better for me. Going into London, we want to see opposing liquidity taken. So that would be this Asia level. Probably this level here inside this fair value gap would be ideal. That doesn't seem to be the case. Nope. Nothing for me. New York. Oh, wow. That really, really did run. Wow. New York did take both sides. So technically, I mean, you could take this, but there's not enough in that. Here, external range is going to get taken, and that's no trade for me. And then obviously levels did get taken, so there is nothing there. Yeah, there was nothing there for me then. So I would continue to just now obviously go back up to the daily. That's completed. It took a little bit longer than normal. Obviously, you've got multiple scalps in there or multiple intraday trades, and then obviously level did get taken. So now we're looking at for the next. You can just clear that chart completely, and now we can start looking for the next internal to external. Okay, so now we've got that here. Really quite a big bearish move down. It's this simple. All we're looking for is the most recent daily internal level, and we're just literally waiting for a tag into it and then look for the external. That simple. So now we can jump down. We've obviously got that level drawn, and we can just wait for price to come into a level where we feel like we can actually get a trade. It needs to come up into the daily. So what day are we on? We're on a Wednesday. We need to see price come up. Price does come up in New York, and it does just accidentally sped too far forward. So price comes up in New York. TradingView has this weird habit of doing that. You tap it like once and it flies forward. So New York AM does come up, 10 a.m. We're going into 11. It's the last opportunity to actually trade. Price tags the level, takes this liquidity inside this daily level as well. Closes below the high. Can just short off the next hour's open with our stops above this high here and just look for the opposing liquidity, which I think is there, literally. I don't really want to go back to the daily because it gives you the answer of your trade, which is a bit annoying. And I want to make this one a bit more realistic because I'm going to say if I would take partials and stuff like that. So let's put this here. And like I said, I'm going to be a bit more realistic with it. Where would I look to take a partial here? Well, we've got 1R there, no. So we go for our basic 2R, because every trade I'm only ever going to take them if I can squeeze 2R minimum out of it. Hence why I've made this my actual template. And then you have down here, we have 3.86R. So what we can do is clone that. Just change the numbers. 3.86. 6. And yeah, and then obviously overall you have, what's that, about 4.42. So what I'm going to do is say, I'm going to pull half a position off here at 2R. And we're going to pretend, obviously, we're going to do it like we was trading a real account. So I have 100K. Let's do 100K account. So let's do this if we're doing a 100K account challenge or trading my live. So we'll say 1% risk equal. So it's equal to 1,000. And then 2% gain equal 2,000. And then what I'll do here as well is I will put 2R 50% off equal to 1,000. So then, and then whatever we earn over that, we have to work it out. Okay, so there's a little, rundown there. We can just have that written out so that I know what I'm doing. So let's push price forward, see what it does. Price does come down and comes all the way back up. Not the greatest. It didn't hit 2R, so we're still being the trade. Again, and we'll go in overnight now. Okay, so we'd have taken a loss here, which is fine. Again, 11 o'clock, we're going to keep a note of that because I think that's the second or third one where 11 has ended up killing us. I think it's just a little bit late for me because it goes overnight then, but that's fine. Thursday, the 31st of July. So let's put that on the loss. Thursday, the 31st of July. Thursday, the 31st of July, and that was at 11 a.m. Now, the good thing with this is we're going to have a lot of this, like, good single times, if that makes sense. So what we could actually do is, because I can make this a drop down. Yeah, because if I make that a drop down, I only actually need to add about 5 times because we're only going to enter at, so we can go 2 a.m. Whoa, what's going on here? So we go 2 a.m. What the hell is going on? 2 a.m. What is going on? Every time I look away to type. 2 a.m. We got 3 a.m. 4 a.m. And we wouldn't enter at 5 because that would be too late and the session stops. So then we can go 7 a.m. Wow, it keeps literally, I don't know what's going on there. 7 a.m. 8 a.m. 9 a.m. 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the oh, that was quite nice actually, that color. So we'll go with that for London, and we'll go with this. Let's go with like a nice gold or something for. Let's go with that for New York. Let's copy that so that we have it on all of them. I remembered why I only used the actual saved ones now. It's very frustrating to do this, and I have to do this with all of the pairs as well, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, so that's our times. Now we know we're only entering at them times, so what have I done there though? I took the times out, didn't I, Wally? So we know this one was 11. Shouldn't have deleted them yet. So I know this one was 11. I know that one was 10. And I believe that one was 7. But going forward, we'll be journaling the times. Again, look, this is what happens when you journal. This is the realistic view on a journal, to be honest. You add things as you go, and that just shows that you're getting more in depth with what you're doing. Which again is fine. It's part of journaling. Obviously, it means these trades here don't have as much details, which kind of skews the data a little bit. But from now on, it will be like as high level as you can get it. So we can go from there. And let's now. So we took a loss. That was -1. It was a New York trade. We went long. No, we didn't. We went short even. Short, loss, -1. And that's it. So we've had actually, now we can update that to a -2, so a 2 loss streak. That can get deleted. We're back up there. We're actually during London again. So potentially we could take this trade here. I can't pull that back unless I go back to 4 o'clock. Let's do that so I can do this. There we go. So there you go. So we see that level's actually been tagged just. So it's still valid. We have this external range, which is on that day. So I actually took the external range first. Probably wasn't a valid setup then. So this is the thing with not being able to go on the daily, because it shows the printed candle. But either way, let's mark this up. So we can delete that as well and delete that. And now we can print into Friday, where we see price come up again, take this high out and close below this one. So now we could take this up. We would have taken that. Stops above there. Again, liquidity sweep. Price has no real reason to go higher anymore. We're inside a daily as well. So now we can just look for that market maker sell side of the curve, market maker sell model, sell side of the curve. You've got 8R total from here. Again, I don't really want to slow it down by pulling 2R and that all the time. So I'm just going to say once we get to this level, we'll check. Because again, look, if I'd have wasted my time, we took a loss anyway, so it's no biggie. Right, so Friday, the 1st of August, we would have took a loss at 3 a.m. August, we need to add that on there. So a little bit of bad PA here now, which is fine. A little bit of a losing streak. So Friday, the 1st of August at 3 a.m. we went London and we went short again, loss, -1. So let's put -1, -1, and -1. Right, okay, that's simple, easily done. And on to the next. There isn't too much to it. Obviously, we got this daily level that gets absolutely obliterated for on Friday. So this is invalid now. And we can just push to the next day, Monday. Let's push through. Monday's there. We've actually now been left with an opposing fair value gap after Monday, which is this. See, now this is something that I'm going to say it before it happens because I genuinely don't know what does happen. This is something I would be excited about seeing it in real time. We're going into Tuesday. I would expect a low of the week on a Tuesday and then run for the external highs here, and here would be my overall draw. Now, I'm not going to put external high because 87525. Yeah, I'm not going to put external high because technically speaking, in this leg of internal to external, this is the high. So 87299. Okay, and what I mean by that is we're going internal to external based on this being the internal. That's the last high that got put in before it. So that's the high. This is just going to be a liquidity target, is what I'm going to label that, because it's something that we could target if the move continues in that direction. So obviously now we can jump into the 1 hour, which is looking quite nice. Let's pull this daily so we have it on visible below, and I think it shouldn't be too far. Yeah, lovely. So we've tagged the daily level just, but then moves away quite fast. We're now coming into Asia. Now London is going to print, and we've just taken the Asia level, so We can see how this, yeah, so we've taken the low. So technically speaking, if I wanted to, and I'm going to for the sake of backtesting, gonna do this. Now, this isn't ordinary. This isn't something I would normally do, but this is the whole reason in backtesting. Now, it still gives me a nice risk to reward, which I think could be quite quick. But we have closed above that previous candle's high. So what I want to do as well is add on here, put a row to the left. And what I want to do is entry. Now, what I want to do here is I want to add another. I like drop downs. I just think they're handy for when you want to look at filtered stuff later. So what I want to do is engulfing. So what I mean by that, I know what I mean by that. So obviously, it's dependent on if you know how I trade. I don't even know if these videos will ever come out to anybody, so I'm not even going to go into it too much. But what I mean by that is, I can't do this. It's really jarring me. Right. Yeah. So what I mean by here is we have an A close in the range. Okay. So what I want to do is have that like that. Because then I can see that we closed in the range. That's the sort of candle. So we had a 1 hour close in the range. Okay. So look, we got it here. It's quite clear. Entry, candle type. If I can spell candle correctly. Right, okay, so we've got close in the range, okay? So what we can start to do now is, let's see what this happens here. Again, we got this Asia high, which looks about 1 to 1.5. This swing point, which will be well over 2R, which if we print out forward, we can see what happens. Price takes us out straight away, okay? So it's another loss. Tuesday the 5th, and the entry was at 3 a.m. August 5th, Tuesday, 3 a.m. London, we went long, we lost, -1, closed in the range, -1. Simple. The losing trades are easier to journal than the winning ones because the winning ones have more to go with because you're obviously going with the IRL where you should take profit and things like that. So yeah, so obviously having a losing trade's a little bit more easier to journal. But with that in mind, we're still going to obviously look at what happens. So we're inside the daily. Price again here, 6 a.m., which is out of my times. And now that I have them written in, I genuinely just don't want to enter them. And that's not very convincing. Again, New York seems to be unwilling. New York here, 10. So 11, we could potentially, now you've seen the move, the bulk of it happen, we shouldn't really be going anywhere near the stop there again. Now, again, a bit like that other trade earlier, 1.33 isn't really within my rule set. So what I could do is if I pull this level out here, that's a 15-minute fair value gap. That would be the lowest I would enter from. Is that going to make much of a difference? Okay, and what about stops? Could we pull them up anywhere? Not really. The low's going to be there at the minimum. No, so I'm going to leave this trade. I mean, realistically, could really push it over. I'm not going to take it because I just want to try and stick to hitting the levels. But we'll push this one forward in the video and see what would happen. Let's see if we come back in this next 1 hour into that level. We did. Let's see what would happen. Okay, so we're on to a new day as well. So we could actually potentially still trade from the trade now that we've gone into. So I'm going to take this, leave this here, okay, because it's the trades, I didn't take it and I just don't really want it on the chart. We have made a low of the week on Tuesday, which is what I expected. And we do have a 1 hour fair value gap here. I want to see liquidity in the opposing direction taken for going for any longs. It doesn't happen. New York does tag into this level. this 1 hour fair value gap, which you could definitely take because obviously you've already got your direction. We did close above, so technically speaking, we could have taken this trade here. Okay, so I'm actually going to journal that as a nice 4.31 trade. Now I know I missed it, but I need to start being a bit more patient when I'm pushing price forward. 6th of August, because I'm missing them not because I would have missed them, because in real life I would have seen it and taken it. I need to just stop pushing price forward so quickly. 8 a.m. What day is it? Wednesday the 6th of August. 8 a.m. New York, long, win, way over 2R. What was it in the end? It was a 4.31R to external range. So I'm going to add that because what I want to do is this is to the external range and whether or not it got hit. Okay, so this obviously the winning ones, you could see we did end up taking it and hitting. So I want to make sure that that's journaled. This was a really nice trade actually. And because of all this noise here, I end up getting distracted. But again, pretty simple. We're obviously bullish based on the daily fair value daily level being tagged. You can see the market maker sells buy model. You've got the sell side. You got the liquidity grab here that takes this level. Price then makes its move. It's a little bit late to take a trade here. Asia comes in. We sweep here into this 1 hour fair value gap. We do it again into this 1 hour fair value gap. We don't sweep this level, which is what I wanted to see in London. Ideally, I would have took a trade here in London from that, but price does push up and away in London, meaning we don't really want to see price come back down here at that point. You have this inversion fair value gap here, which price bounces off, as you can see when I put the level there. We also have this fair value gap to the upside created. Price respects it, closes back above the previous candles low, so back in the range, and then rallies at 8 and 9 to the external range. So we can also have that as a close inside the range. And what I'm going to do is actually make a PDF file with these, what I mean by closing the range and stuff like that, because I want to make sure that's really clear in my head as well. So that's done. That's another daily internal to external complete. So that worked out really, really cleanly. And we can delete that off because that's actually happened. Like I said, we can see if price does take that overall high, which it doesn't. I'm just waiting for a new daily internal to external to play out, which hopefully does happen. It might not. Again, like I said, the dates don't matter because I'm going to go over all of the same dates on multiple pairs. Now, this big bullish candle looks like we could potentially have some sort of move if the next one gives them. Yeah. So we could go here. This is, well, we will be going here because this is the daily fair value gap. Yes, it's within a bit of chop, but we're literally backtesting this for this exact reason to see if it's worth it. Are we missing out on these days or are we not missing out because the price action is crap? So we got the daily level here. What day of the week are we on? And what date are we on now? We're in September. We're in a Wednesday, so could be creating a Wednesday low of the week here potentially. And let's see. Let's get the low here because 6627. Near enough there. Right. So now we just go on to the 1 hour. Again, like I said, we're at the end of the day, so we need to get to London. Once we get there, I'm going to explain that there. Right, so once the new day's candle opens, we tag in again to this daily level. Oh, sorry, we tag into the daily level, in fact. Right, so here we have price take out Asia. It goes through this fair value gap. So we do sweep and close below here. Now, if I enter this, obviously my external range from the day is up here. So we can whack that on there. Now, if I enter this, there's two ways to do it. We could enter off this next candle and put the stops there because we don't expect price to come down again, which is what probably is recommended, which I think is going to be the trade that I'm going to journal. Again, like I did earlier in a prior trade, I want to actually see what would happen. Obviously, would there be enough RR if we gave it that space, because that is the current day low? No, there wouldn't. So we're going to take this, and then if obviously we get stopped out, we can go for the same trade again. It's not really a big deal. So again, what's the time? 2 a.m. London session is about to open. Boom, price goes up. Goes up again, takes Asia. That would be way over 2R at this point. Yep. So 2R has been tagged. And I want to, and we've taken Asia. So we could take 1% off. So let's say we've taken 1% off, which will equal to, just put a note down on that so I can add it up later. So we're risking 1,000. The overall draw and liquidity is the external range, which is for a 5.31R. So 1,000 is the total risk now, and at 2R we could take off. %off at 2R equal to, because obviously that's at 2,000 at that point, so 1,000 profit locked in. So we got 1,000 profit locked in now, and we'd go break even. Let's see what happens. Price comes back down and takes us out. Now, that would be a break even trade for 1,000 profit. What I'm going to do there is I'm actually going to note that down now, because that did happen and I was saying it as I played it. So that would be just like taking a real trade. So we got Thursday the 18th, 2025 at 2 a.m. Thursday 18th, 2 a.m. Was it 2 a.m.? Yeah. And we're now in September, which I actually have because we're now coming up to dates where I started this journal. So we got London, we went long, we did win, but we only made 1%. I need to get rid of these. So let's add one, make that green. Let's get the same green because it bugged me otherwise. Okay. There we go. So we got 1% there. And what I want to do is add to my notes what happened. So I've made a notes one now, actually, which is quite nice. Okay, so what did we do? We closed within the range, didn't we? Yeah, closed within the range. Notes, right. Let's add a note in here. Comment. Trade. So what happened? Let's actually go over it. So daily level tagged, Asia level taken out, price closed above previous hours high. So daily level tagged, Asia lows taken, bullish, 1 a.m. swept previous candles lows and closed within the range, expecting higher prices. 2 a.m. entry on open. Entry on open. What time did the 2R get smacked? 2R got hit at, so somewhere at 3 a.m. So about, let's get that up. So about 3:30. 4:45. Right, so trade closed at break even. What I'm going to do is as well. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play this out a little bit more because I want to see what happens after the break even if we continue or if we come back. Right, so we would have got taken out for a full. So so we would have lost on that day. So partials and break even was important there. Just scrap that off because we also have this. So we come back in. Do we have any? Yeah, 1 hour. Took both sides, so we could enter from there at 8 a.m. because again we're still valid, so we can take this. Realistically, we could take that. It's nowhere near enough to trade it. I'm not even gonna bother. I did think that might be the case, but there was no. I mean, realistically, it's not really a close above. It's gone through the fair value gap. No, I'm not going to force that. Potentially, if you didn't take that one there, you could have waited. This one takes both sides. I mean, yeah, this is just not going to hit 1 hour anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And ultimately, the daily internal to external played out. So again, it worked out. And what's the time? So 50 minutes. Let's do, where are we? Thursday, we probably got, yeah, so let's leave this one here.